Writing is organized thought. I'm not sure where I learned that, but I know it to be true, and I hold it very close to my heart that that's what writing is. Speaking is organized noise. Writing and speaking are inextricably linked. See, sometimes written words can say what the voice cannot, depending on who's listening or not. Sometimes the voice can say what written words cannot, depending on who's reading or not. So both are arrows in the quiver that I deliver as truth giver. I have pieces that I've written from as far back as 1979. That's almost 40 years. When I won the South Carolina Lieutenant Governor's Award for Expository Writing as a 5th grader. Nancy Stevenson was the Lieutenant Governor of South Carolina in 1979. I won it again in 1982 as an 8th grader. I think Mike Daniel was the Lieutenant Governor in 1982. Looking back, these may be my 2 proudest individual accomplishments. They both define my power and destiny in ways I could not see then, man, but I understand much better now. I can read pieces from my archives and remember both struggles and triumphs, illustrated by the words and the thoughts. I once thought that I was a really good writer, but that I could never be a good speaker. I didn't like that voice, and I thought that one had nothing to do with the other. Sometimes, man, the mind is a terrible thing to have. It took a long time for me to learn to like the sound of my own voice. But recording it anyway, even though I didn't like it, that helped. That turned out to really help. It's that healing what you feel kind of thing. I didn't want to hear or see how much confidence I lacked. But listening to my recorded voice helped me to embrace my abundance and my lack. It showed me how to use my strengths to address my weaknesses. It showed me that my primary weakness was not realizing my evident strength. Imagine that. It may be self-explanatory, but writing and speaking form the foundation of all my enterprise in much deeper ways than the computer. And I've talked deep about the computer, both my love, respect, and regard for it, and how I have weaponized it. See, when I resolve complicated issues with the computer or whatever, I have to explain them to customers using simple, concise prose and vernacular. Vernacular is everyday speech, prose is everyday writing. Same is true for data analysis and synthesis. Selling items on eBay is facilitated by well-written listings that include inviting, properly detailed product descriptions. You don't need hype, you just need well-written descriptions. Let these people know the details, like the inseam and the waist in these pants. They might say 36, but the waist might actually be 36 and a half. Tell them that. Filmmaking is driven by vibrant screen and copywriting, as well as storyboarding, where you draw pictures of what each scene in the movie looks like, and you accompany those pictures with words to pull that whole story together. Letters, essays, very personal communication, poems, songs, speeches, classes, editorial infographics, that's something I've gotten into, cartoons, video podcasts, commentaries, just to name a few. And I cannot wait to see where all this takes me.